In a fiery public statement that has sent ripples through the African political landscape, Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader Captain Ibrahim Traoré launched a scathing rebuke against South African President Cyril Ramaphosa following his high-profile diplomatic visit to the United Kingdom. The bold and unapologetic outburst, reportedly made during a televised address in Ouagadougou, has reignited the Pan-Africanism debate and placed Ramaphosa in the crosshairs of Africa's rising generation of anti-imperialist leaders. President Ramaphosa's recent visit to the UK was officially presented as a move to strengthen diplomatic ties and boost investor confidence. However, behind closed doors, political analysts suspect the trip involved deeper discussions on geopolitical cooperation, sanctions policies, and Western influence in Africa's internal affairs. Ramaphosa, dressed in his trademark suit and diplomatic calm, appeared to be every bit the Western ally many Pan-African leaders have grown increasingly suspicious of. What may have appeared to be just another foreign visit quickly drew the ire of anti-colonial activists and New Age African revolutionaries, most notably Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old military captain turned president who has gained continental fame for his uncompromising stand against neocolonialism and Western interference. Enough is enough, Traoré declared from a podium surrounded by Burkinabe flags and military officers. We are not the West's errand boys. We are not their economic puppets. And we will not take orders from nations who pillaged our continent for centuries. Without naming Ramaphosa directly at first, Traoré's words left no doubt who they were aimed at. There are African leaders, he said, who still believe their legitimacy must be validated in London, Paris, or Washington. They smile in suits over tea, while their people suffer under foreign-imposed economic models. Then came the unmistakable rebuke, to President Ramaphosa, I say this, stop chasing the approval of Western powers. Your people, our people, need liberation, not more handshakes with the architects of our poverty. The audience erupted into thunderous applause as Traoré continued, we must build a sovereign Africa. An Africa for Africans. Not an Africa waiting for applause from Buckingham Palace or the White House. The clash highlights a growing ideological divide within African leadership, a rift between the old guard, often aligned with international institutions and Western governments, and the emerging class of leaders like Traoré, Mali's Assimi Goïta, and Niger's Abdourahmane Tiani, who are taking a hardline stance against neocolonialism and Western militarization in Africa. While Ramaphosa is widely seen as a stabilizing figure in the African Union and a champion of diplomacy, critics argue he is too conciliatory toward former colonial powers. Traoré, on the other hand, is admired by Pan-African youth movements and leftist intellectuals for his raw defiance and calls for African self-determination. So far, the South African presidency has not responded to Traoré's remarks. Whether by strategy or surprise, Ramaphosa's silence has only fueled speculation. Some insiders within the ANC have expressed concern over the president's foreign policy direction, especially in light of recent US sanctions threats and increasing public pressure to cut ties with the West. A member of the South African Youth League commented anonymously, Traoré is saying what many young Africans feel, that our leaders have sold us out. Ramaphosa might ignore it now, but this movement is growing. Traoré's outburst wasn't just an isolated moment of rage. It reflects a larger, tectonic shift happening across the continent. The Sahel region, once deeply entangled in French and American influence, is now asserting its independence, often in explosive fashion. Coups, military takeovers, and mass anti-Western protests have become symbols of a continent searching for a new identity. Ibrahim Traoré's rebuke of President Ramaphosa isn't just a personal attack, it's a call to arms for a new Africa. An Africa that no longer seeks approval from foreign powers. An Africa that defines its own future. As the dust settles, one thing is clear, the battle for the soul of Africa is no longer just about policy, it's about philosophy, pride, and the struggle for true independence. And Traoré has made it known that in his Africa, there is no room for Western puppetry. Whether Ramaphosa will respond or stay silent in the face of this Pan-African storm remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the continent is watching.